Hello, YouTubers. These are some RV products that I haven't mentioned in my other videos. So I'll go through them quickly. It's things that, items that you might want to have available. I guess the most important that I haven't mentioned is a drill. I like to DeWalt, and I have about 5 or 6 because I assemble roofing hoist platforms, and it's good to have several of them ready, different bits or sockets on it. So that's what I use, and when I go on the road, I just take a couple freshly charged batteries, and they will last for a few months until I get back. Another thing that some people say is overkill is an impact wrench. I probably wouldn't have bought it just for the motorhome, but since I'm not going to be on the farm, I might as well bring it. Um, Harbor Freight has some for $50 or $60, but they don't come with a battery, and the battery is another $50 or $60. But this is one off of eBay, and I've used it very, very much. And it was $85, including the battery. If you get one, be sure you get the half-inch drive, because those little quarter-inch drives won't do very much. Now, I've used that one to change the suspension system using high torque bolts, and it really helped and cut down on the sweat. And the other videos showed my tool kits, but it didn't have many wrenches. And here's a set of wrenches I bought in North Dakota. I think it's $20 for a set of SAE and $20 for a set of the metric. Another thing we like to have is inside here is a very high quality set of binoculars. And I got a little set of opera binoculars for looking at operas. They're real fancy with a gold chain, and they're nice to take on little hikes, because they're, you can easily overweight yourself with a bunch of stuff. And they have a nice little carrying case they go in. Of course, you should definitely have some fire extinguishers. And when you buy a motorhome, you're not going to have dishes. You're either going to take them out of your house and then have to put them back in and so forth. But there's a place in the South called Dirt Cheap, and they sell stuff that's been returned. And I think I got 40 items. These are brand new pots and pans for $45. Of course, some of the items were spoons and stuff like that. But I mean, you can't go to a flea market or a garage sale and get brand new pots and pans for $1 a piece. So that's a good place to get those. This is one of my lights that runs with the rechargeable 18650 batteries. And it's good to have some, to take around like a flashlight or whatever you need to do, or set it up on a table. It goes a long time on a charge. Of course, you need an air gauge to check your tires. I have bought a monitoring system off of eBay, $60, and the base system is solar recharged, so you don't have to worry about batteries, and you can monitor the tires and catch them if they first go down. Because if you blow out a tire and it's on the dually side, it can mess up a $400 tire beside it. So you double your trouble without even knowing that your tire went out. This is a cool little light. See, while I'm doing that, there's a nice little stool, because Marsha's only about 5'2", and she can't reach up and turn on the lights. They're too high. And in the bedroom, there's no other light except that one, and there's no wall switch. She thinks they're kind of cheesy not to put switches you can reach. I barely can reach that one back there. There's a switch for the ones up here by the door over there, and there's a switch in the bathroom for some, but the rest of them, she can reach these here, but she can't reach the others. So, and then sometimes there's stuff up in the cabinet she can't reach without her little stool. This is a nice little folding table here. You can take out if you're grilling and have a place to set things. This is a really cool night light. It runs off of the 18650 rechargeable batteries, but you can just recharge them while they're in there. And these wings fold out. Let me see if I can do this with. Like that. If you're hanging it up, it's got all kinds of settings, but it's high powered and low powered settings, so it makes a very beautiful little light, and it covers quite an area. It's good to take out if you're sitting under the awning and your chairs. And that's another thing I didn't bring out, is some chairs to sit in outside. But I like this little light. And then pull something out there. And then a squeegee to clean your windshields. This has an extension. I think this came from Big Lots, and it'll reach pretty far. And then the baseball bat. Actually, the baseball bat is good for self-defense, but in our old motorhome, the fuel pump went out, and we were way out 3 or 4 hours from Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I just got underneath the motorhome and just banged with that bat on the tank, and it got the fuel pump to working again for about 20 minutes. I think all in all, maybe about 6 or 7 times. I went under there and banged on the fuel tank to get the fuel pump running again, so we could get to where there was a mechanic and replace it. Fuel pump on a motorhome is kind of expensive. It's about a $400 pump, and you're lucky if you can get it replaced for another $400. It took 3 men about 2.5 hours to replace the fuel pump. Of course, you got to get all the fuel out. Another thing, in many videos, people like these little heat sensors that tells you the temperature by pointing. And I got this one a long time ago, and the batteries are dead, but I didn't put any more in it yet. But there was one video, and the guy doing the video, he had good tips, and one of them was his little heat gun. But he must have spent 15 minutes walking around showing the temperature of everything, like the refrigerator and outside, looking at the heat of the tires and all this. I think what he should have done is got him a thermal camera. I just love this thing. It's one of my expensive toys. It's a Pulsar Helion, and it's like a military grade. It's $3,500, but there's no hiding from this at night, and it does videos of, and also you can stream it, whatever's on the video, to your phone, and from your phone you can stream it online, so somebody can watch whatever you're watching anywhere in the world live, and you can see anywhere there's heat coming out. I came in here and I couldn't believe the heat that was coming out from over there, right past the stove, and that's because it was on the refrigerator. Then I can check my vents to see, it's just really air coming out. Now, I made several videos in Yellowstone and posted them, so if you check all my videos, you'll see the posts there, and Yellowstone is just lit up at night when you look at a thermal camera. The geysers and the streams of the hot water and the mud running down the banks. It's pretty incredible pictures. And then the deer, the antelope, and the moose, and all that kind of wildlife. And then went on the Oregon coast and had beautiful pictures of seals and sea lions laying on the banks, and they're down the cliff to about 1,000 feet. But it's totally pitch black dark, but the thermal camera shows them very clearly. I did one video where you can take this and walk around and look at any container and tell how much fluid's in it, because it's a different temperature than the air above it. So I can look at a big thick propane tank and see how much is in there, how much water is in the tractor tires. Other motorhome, I had a carrying basket on the back, and I had a little generator, and I had the gas inside a gas tank, but inside a big plastic container, and it looked all the way through all that, and I knew how much gas was in the gas tank. So they're really a lot of fun to play with. You can get a Sightmark brand, which is pretty good. That's what I have on my hog hunting rifle, and they're about $2,000. So if you're traveling around and seeing all these things, you should see what you're missing at night. Finally, the baseball bat is a good thing for security, but if you ever want to travel to Canada, or if you're traveling around, you can't really carry firearms in a RV without running into some problems, especially if you want to go into Canada. I went into Canada once, and they were convinced that me and my boys had guns, and they kept us there for like 45 minutes before we finally got to go. Well, that time I was carrying my ultralight on the back of my truck, and I finally told the guy, look, if I want to run guns in Canada, I would just unload the plane and fly him over his head, and he finally let us go. But this right here is a secret that a lot of truckers know. You can carry a flare gun in a commercial vehicle. And if somebody really is messing with you or trying to break in and you shoot them in the stomach with one of these flare guns, I can guarantee you they will leave you alone. And you can buy these at Walmart for $45. So I might make a demo one night of firing it off into something that I don't mind catching on fire. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to mention in this video? I guess that's it. That's a few extra things that I didn't mention when I covered the tools that I bought at Harbor Freight or the supplies I bought at Dollar Tree and other ways to save money. But it's more enjoyable. Oh, let me cover this right quick. Last time I showed about how I used these clips that go to a lighter socket with clamps to hook onto a battery. I've used a couple of them. I exchanged the clamps for some little ones so I could hook to the back of my fuse box and have a charging station over there. You can see it up under there. Drill a 1-inch hole and they slip right in there, and I have one in the back. And also, if you want to air up a tire and you get one of these, you need it's got a cigarette lighter plug there and also on your fan. So I can take this outside, clip it to my batteries, and string out all this line and clip the fan nearby, especially when I'm grilling. And well, if you blow air onto your charcoal when you light it and it gets to going, it'll heat up quick. You won't be there for 45 minutes waiting your charcoal get hot enough to cook on. So that's convenient to have. This I mentioned in one other video. It's a pest repeller. It keeps mice out of your motorhome. And I have one already installed over there on the seat, and I'm going to put this one on my batteries, hopefully to keep them away from my motor. But if you have pets, you probably do not want to run this. They would hear it, and it would probably annoy them quite sufficiently to make them not want to stay with you. But anything to run off the mice, because you get mice in a motorhome, they're going to chew wires and cause all kind of problems. So that's my video on accessories that I hadn't covered in the other ones. If you want to watch the other videos, you can just click on my name and go to my videos and see. This is about the 6th one I made since I got this motorhome. And I'll let you go. Have a good day.